Hey guys, so I'm back with another video. So there's a trend going on TikTok saying we're shade match twins if, and then people will like literally list all of their foundations and the shades, and it helps people because if they look like that person, they'll be able to better match foundation. So I decided to do it too. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 foundations that I can make work. Some of them are better than others, but I kind of want to talk about them. So if you're like me, you're medium to tan, sometimes warm, sometimes neutral. You tan really easily in the summer, but got way more pale in the winter. You might be some of these shades of foundation. And I actually looked back. I did a video a couple years ago, and it was basically on foundations that work for tan skin. And some of those are probably still good. I'm gonna actually link that video below. But I'm gonna show you what I currently have right now, talk about pros and cons, what I like about it, how I would make it work. And if you want to see the short version, I'll have it linked on Instagram and TikTok, but I'll also write down all the shades and products. So some of these foundations I bought on my own, some of them are PR, and some of them were gifted to me by clients. So you don't need a million foundations. I will say generally you need at least 2, maybe a winter shade and a summer shade, or maybe a daytime light tint and an evening more full coverage. Because you can really build up coverage with concealer. You can make shades work as you tan or get paler with highlight and contour. But we're just gonna walk through them. So I'm just gonna grab what I have in a row right here. So the first is E.L.F. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. Medium buildable, coverage long lasting. I actually really like this foundation. I eyeballed it in the store. I was at Walmart to get a shade match. And I ended up picking up medium cool because it looked like it wasn't cool. It looked pretty warm. And generally, in the past, I've veered towards warm shades, but now I'm getting more into neutral as better neutral foundations are coming out. So this one is cool, but it doesn't look cool. Do you see that? It looks to me pretty neutral, and this is a beautiful drugstore foundation. So it's like pretty good match. I would probably just warm up my skin a little bit with some bronzer. And it's such an affordable foundation. I think it's only $9. So would medium neutral work for me as well? Probably. Would medium warm work for me? Probably, because I just alter the rest of the features of the face. So the next one I have is, this is a Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer, and this one is an 08, the Golden Neutral, which is interesting because it's like the opposite. But I'm generally somewhere in that shade range. This is a much fuller foundation. I'm not really a fan of this one because I don't like fuller coverage, but maybe I'd use it just to kind of spot conceal or certain areas. But you see that it's a little bit thicker. So this one is giving more golden neutral. It's really matching my neck pretty good. But my face, I think, is a little darker than my body, which is tricky. But I would just lighten that up with a lighter concealer and again, a bronzer. Okay, this is one of my favorites. This is the E.L.F. Halo Glow Liquid Filter in shade 04. I will wear this by itself as foundation or sometimes under foundation if I'm trying to be extra. But this one is a sheer one, so it will match really easily. So I could probably go up to shade 5 and be okay too. But this one is very neutral. So this is really good for me during the winter. I could probably go up a shade to number 5 in the summer months. Okay, after that I have the Cover FX Power Play Foundation in shade M5. I bought this online and I bought shade M4, but I had to do a swap and get M5 because it was too light. And usually I'm pretty good at matching shades, but this one was a little off. So this is what it's looking like. I think it's actually a pretty good face match for my neck, or a shade match. Do you see that? But it's a little bit cool for my overall face, so I have to kind of make this one work a little bit with bronzer. I don't love that foundation, to be honest. I think it's fine. I just love a dewier finish, and it was only $10 because Cover FX is having their major blowout for the last couple of months. I have a whole video on it, which you'll find linked below. Okay, again, one of my favorites is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk in shade 7.75. I actually wore this foundation for my wedding. I love the dewy finish, how lightweight it is. So this one is definitely more of a golden tone, buildable. So I've seen a couple of shade match twins who are kind of like 7.5, 7.75. I got this shade for the summer and it's a good summer match for me. Okay, the next one is the Charlotte Tilbury Unreal, and this is a stick foundation. I've heard mixed reviews about this, but it's very natural. This one is very neutral. So if you veer more on the neutral side versus golden, this is definitely one for you. It's very glowy, so keep that in mind too. It might be an issue if you have oily skin, but I think it's really beautiful. It would be great for mature, dry skin. I will personally though pair it with something else to give more of a matte finish because I do tend to have an oily T-zone. This one caught me by surprise. This is the Urban Decay Face Bond in shade 23, medium neutral. So I was sent this in PR, and I was really happy that I picked this one medium neutral because it tends to go warm. But I love the way that this looks with like a damp beauty blender sponge, and it really does last. It's not super drying even though it's waterproof. And I do think this one tends to go a little darker and oxidizes a little bit, so just keep that in mind. Next, I have the Estée Lauder Double Wear. I have a couple versions of this. This one is a light one. Again, I don't love a full coverage foundation personally, but this is a shade 4W1, which is described as honey bronze. So they also have neutral shades, but I like the warm. It's not too warm. Some foundations are extremely warm for their warm golden shades and some aren't. This one's kind of neutral to me. So this one I don't reach for too much. I usually will pack it as a travel makeup foundation when I go on conference trips. But yeah, 4W1 is a pretty good match. I love Nars Sheer Glow. I've been using it for years. I don't see it in Sephora, so you can only get it on the website, but I do it. If I had to choose, I would get the Nars Light Reflecting as my backup. So I have the shade Syracuse, and this is definitely my summer color. I'm not quite at my full summer color yet, so this one tends to be a little bit tan for me, so I have to bring the color. Actually, what I do a lot is I just bring it down into my neck, into my chest, depending on what I'm wearing. It seems to be matching pretty good in this mirror, but I know when I put it all over my face, it tends to be a little bit tan for me. But I'm just like probably 1 month away from my peak summer color. So this is a classic that is It Cosmetics CC Cream. So this one is pretty simple. I just have the shade tan. This is a lovely foundation. People don't really talk about it anymore. There's so many foundations out there. Looking at it now, it is kind of a little bit more olive, which I'm not mad at, but it blends right in, and I think it's a pretty good match. All right, the next one is the Lys Triple Fix Serum Foundation. They still sell this on the website. I know people are really into their foundation sticks, but I don't have that one. I got this at the makeup show, and they didn't have all the shades available, so I got TG5, which I looked it up online, and it's, I think the G is for golden, T might be for tan, but it's a little bit too warm for me, I think, personally. Again, not at my peak summer color, but this is what it's looking like right here. It is, to me, a dupe for the Armani Luminous Silk, and it's described on the website to be good for dry, mature skin, which the Luminous Silk is kind of like that too. So I don't reach for this all the time. Maybe when I get a little bit more tan, I will. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation in shade 7, which is neutral. So neutral I can pull off, tan I can pull off. This one is a pretty foundation. So as you can see, the neutral has still a little bit of yellow undertone, so it works for me like that. I would probably have to warm this up a little bit though on the perimeter of my face with bronzer. So Makeup Forever is next. I have the Makeup Forever HD in the shade 2Y32. I think Makeup Forever, I could kind of go between a couple of different shades, and they've changed their formula so much it's kind of confusing. But this one is more neutral, and you can see it looks a little bit more peachy. I do like also some more of their golden shades, but this formula is more of a medium coverage, so because it's more sheer, your skin will show through it, and then the more sheer it is, the better of a match it will naturally be. All right, I saved the best for last because honestly I use this every day. I put the Danessa Myricks Yummy Balm Blurring Powder into a smaller container, and I have the full size because I travel with this. But I got the shade 5. It took me a couple of tries to get the right shade because I think I had a 6 and it was too dark. But this is great for if you have oily skin, because this is like works so much better than any of the primers I've used under foundation. So I'll use this one as a foundation, and it'll be my everyday go-to, or I'll just put this in my T-zone. But you see that that's a really good match. This is supposed to be, it can be a foundation on its own, it can be a primer, it could be a setting powder, you can use it for so many things. But I love this product, and it's just so easy. And if I wear this, my cheese zone definitely doesn't get oily, unlike I said with primers combined with foundations. So this is probably my favorite everyday foundation. My favorite kind of nighttime foundation is probably the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. Another favorite daytime is the Halo Liquid Filter. I always get compliments when I wear this. And then for long wear, my other favorite is the Face Bond applied with a damp beauty blender. So I hope this helped you guys out with some of your choices if you have medium to tan, neutral to warm skin like me. Like I said, I'll write down all the recommendations below. I'll try to tag as many products as I can find. And if you have any specific questions about foundation, I have actually I've written blog posts about how to pick your perfect foundation shade, because that seems to be tricky for a lot of people. And that's something that I really help my clients with. I take clients shopping and do makeup lessons every week as a pro makeup artist. So I've really been able to figure out what foundations work for certain skin types, skin tones, different lifestyles. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Do you guys like these kind of videos? I was thinking of maybe following it up with powders and concealers. So if you want to see those, let me know and I'll do those next. So until next time, I hope you guys have a great night. Ciao, Bellas.